Australia's economic history is a story of extraordinary resource-driven prosperity. Blessed with abundant natural resources, the country transformed itself into one of the wealthiest nations globally. However, as its economy matured, certain challenges have emerged, raising concerns about long-term sustainability and the country's ability to adapt to an evolving global economic landscape. The foundations of Australia's wealth. In Australia, natural resources are plentiful. Australia's economic prosperity is intricately linked to its tremendous natural resource reserves. With some of the largest gold, coal, natural gas, and iron ore resources, the country is a major player in the global commodities markets. Its primary customer is China, and it is the world's largest exporter of iron ore, a mineral vital to the production of steel. The wealth of natural resources in Australia has led to decades of economic growth. The mining boom, especially in the 2000s and 2010s, became a crucial time. Revenue inflows were enormous. As a result, global demand for commodities like coal and iron ore was robust, bringing in billions of dollars from exports. The mining industry created many occupations, including engineering, building, logistics, and transportation. Economic insulation. Thanks to mining profits, Australia was able to weather global economic downturns much better than many other nations, most notably the 2008 global financial crisis. The relationship between China and worldwide demand is significant. China's growth closely mirrors Australia's ascent to riches. With its increasing industrialization, China's need for Australian raw materials skyrocketed. China accounted for almost 35% of Australia's total exports by 2024. Despite the fact that this business alliance benefited both sides, it also led to an over-reliance on one trade partner. Economic management. Avoiding the resource curse. Unlike many resource-rich nations that succumb to the resource curse where an overdependence on resource exports hampers broader economic growth, Australia has navigated these pitfalls relatively well. Key factors include strong institutions. Australia's regulatory and fiscal institutions have ensured that resource wealth has been invested wisely, limiting corruption and mismanagement. Diversified economy. While mining dominates exports, Australia has a well-developed services sector, including tourism, education, and finance. Stable political environment. Unlike many resource-rich countries, Australia's political stability has been a bedrock for steady economic growth. However, cracks have started to appear in this framework, particularly in recent years. Challenges to Australia's economic sustainability. Over-reliance on commodities. While the mining sector has driven much of Australia's prosperity, it has also left the economy vulnerable to external shocks. Commodities are notoriously cyclical, with prices subject to global demand and supply dynamics. For instance, iron ore price volatility. Prices can swing dramatically depending on global market conditions. A downturn in China's economy, for example, could significantly impact Australia's export revenues. Geopolitical risks. The growing tension between China and Western nations has also raised questions about the sustainability of Australia's trade relationship with China. Economic complexity. Economists use a measure called economic complexity to evaluate how diversified and sophisticated a country's economy is. By this measure, Australia performs poorly compared to other advanced economies. The country exports predominantly raw materials rather than high-value manufactured goods or advanced technologies. This lack of economic complexity stifles innovation. The housing market crisis. Skyrocketing property prices. Australia's housing market has been a cornerstone of wealth for many citizens, but it has also become a source of inequality and economic instability. Over the past 2 decades, property prices in cities like Sydney and Melbourne have surged, driven by factors such as high-demand population growth, fueled by immigration, has increased housing demand. Low interest rates. Prolonged periods of low borrowing costs have made it easier for investors to purchase properties, driving up prices. Supply constraints. Strict zoning laws and high construction costs have limited the supply of new housing, exacerbating affordability issues. Impact on society and the economy. Affordability crisis. For many young Australians, owning a home has become an unattainable dream. Household debt. Australians now carry some of the highest levels of household debt in the world, tied to their mortgages. Recent economic developments 2024-2025. Australia's economy in 2024 reflects a paradox. On one hand, record-high share markets and property prices suggest prosperity. On the other, many Australians are struggling with rising costs of living. Key issues include high interest rates to combat inflation. The Reserve Bank of Australia, RBA, has raised interest rates, increasing the cost of mortgages and loans. Soaring living costs, energy prices, food costs, and rents have all surged, squeezing household budgets. Small business struggles. Small and medium-sized enterprises, the backbone of the economy, face rising operational costs and regulatory challenges. A critique of Australia's economic policies. Critics contend that Australia's present course is the result of a lack of long-term planning. One issue is short-termism in policy, whereby decision-makers often put short-term financial benefits ahead of long-term structural changes. Underinvestment in innovation. Australia falls behind other developed countries in terms of R&D and technology, putting its competitiveness at risk. Environmental degradation. There are concerns over sustainability due to the environmental costs of an over-reliance on resource exploitation. What needs to change? A number of strategic changes are required for Australia to ensure its economic future. We must prioritize innovation and diversification, invest in sophisticated manufacturing, renewable energy, and high-tech enterprises, encourage entrepreneurs and startups to cultivate an innovative culture, reforming the housing market, simplify planning laws to increase the availability of dwellings, implement measures to lower home costs, such as first-time buyer subsidies. Management of sustainable resources. Use mining knowledge to lead in vital minerals like cobalt and lithium as you transition from fossil fuels to renewable energy. Conclusion. Australia's economic success story is a testament to its resource wealth, strong institutions, and strategic geographic position. However, the challenges of over-reliance on commodities, a housing affordability crisis, and limited economic complexity highlight the need for bold reforms. The lucky country cannot rely on luck alone. It must chart a deliberate course toward a more diversified, innovative, and equitable future. Love fashion as much as we do? Share this video and subscribe for more exclusive content and behind-the-scenes stories.